The call came on a perfect Sunday morning just as she was settling into her porch swing with coffee and her tablet. Of course it did. Her mother always had a talent for ruining peaceful moments. Chelsea darling, her voice dripped honey through the speaker. That's how Chelsea knew something terrible was coming. I have the most wonderful news. Her name was Chelsea and she hadn't spoken to her family in 8 years, not since the night they told her she was dead to them for choosing art over law school. Now she owned a thriving design studio and the beautiful hillside property they once sneered at her for buying. Funny how life worked out, Mom, she said flatly, already feeling her shoulders tense. What do you want? Oh, don't be like that. Your brother Kelly is getting married to the most delightful girl, Felicia James. You remember her from the country club? Chelsea remembered Felicia. She'd once accidentally spilled red wine on her white dress at a charity event, then laughed about it with her mother. Congratulations to them, she said, starting to end the call. Wait, there's more. Her mother's voice rose an octave. We've decided to have the wedding at your place. Isn't that perfect? It'll bring the whole family together again. Your father and I were just saying how that property of yours was meant for gatherings like this. The coffee cup froze halfway to her lips. Excuse me, well, you have all that space and that lovely garden you've put in. Kelly remembered it from when he visited that one time, you know, when you were being difficult about the inheritance thing. Anyway, he and Felicia have their hearts set on it. We're thinking September 15th. The vendors are already excited. Her laugh came out sharp and cold. No, she paused. What do you mean no? I mean no and no. You can't have Kelly's wedding here. This is my home, not your event space. Chelsea, her voice dropped to that familiar manipulative whisper. Don't be selfish. This is your brother's special day. After everything we've done for you, everything you've done for me. Chelsea stood up so fast her coffee spilled. Like kicking me out at 18 or stealing my inheritance? Oh, please, not this again. You're still so dramatic. Harold, talk to your daughter, she heard shuffling, then her father's gruff voice. Chelsea, you're embarrassing your mother. The invitations are already printed. We're having this wedding at your place. Whether you like it or not, you wouldn't dare turn away 200 guests in person. You care too much about your reputation. The threat hung in the air between them. They thought they knew her, the people leasing daughter who'd rather die than cause a scene. They were counting on her shame to control her, just like always. Try me, she said quietly. Now listen here, her father started, but she cut him off. No. You listen. Show up on my property uninvited and I'll have you arrested for trespassing. Try me, please. Her mother grabbed the phone back. You ungrateful little fine, ruin your brother's wedding. Add it to the list of ways you've disappointed this family, but don't come crying to us when you're all alone with your silly art and your empty house. The call ended. She stood there shaking as memories flooded back. Years of subtle cuts and calculated cruelty. Always Kelly first, always her dreams last. The missing inheritance that mysteriously funded her brother's business venture. The constant attempts to shape her into their carbon copy. Her phone buzzed with a text from Kelly. Can't wait to celebrate my big day at your place, sis. Felicia is already talking to decorators. Try not to mess this up for me like you always do. She walked inside to her office and opened her laptop. They thought they knew her. The pushover, the disappointment, the black sheep who'd roll over and take it, but she wasn't that girl anymore. Fine, she whispered, pulling up her contacts. You want to play? Let's play. She dialed her friend Bella's number. Bella picked up on the second ring. Hey girl, what's up? Remember when you said your uncle's a judge? Chelsea smiled, feeling a plan take shape. I need a favor. Actually, I need several favors, and I need you to hear me out before you tell me I'm crazy. Bella laughed. Oh God, what are you plotting? Justice, she said, opening her calendar to September 15th. Sweet, perfectly legal, absolutely spectacular justice. The game was on, and this time she was writing the rules. The attic stairs creaked under her feet as she climbed up, flashlight beam bouncing off dust mows. She hadn't been up there since moving in, but her mother's call had stirred something, a need to remember to document. You sure you want to do this? Bella called from below. We could just drink wine and plot revenge instead. I need evidence. She called back. Everything they did to me, I kept records, journals, photos, documents. I knew someday they'd try something like this. The beam caught a stack of boxes labeled "Do Not Open" in her teenage handwriting. Fitting, she Dragged them to the center of the floor and sat cross-legged. "Oh my God," Bella gasped, reaching the top step. "Is that you?" She pointed to a photo that had slipped out, teenage Chelsea standing proud next to her first art show piece, mom and dad scowling in the background while Kelly played on his phone. "Yep, the day I won the state competition, also the day they told me art would lead to poverty and shame." She opened the first journal. Her handwriting was smaller than cramped. "With anger they took my acceptance letter to art school and ripped it up. Dad says no daughter of his will waste her life on paintings. Mom says I'm breaking her heart. Kelly got a new car for getting C's in pre-law, but my straight A's in AP art mean nothing." Bella squeezed her shoulder. "Jesus, Chelsea, wait, there's more." She pulled out a manila envelope, hands shaking slightly. "This is from the night they kicked me out." Inside was a crumpled letter dated the day after her high school graduation. Her father's precise handwriting: "As you have chosen to defy this family's wishes and pursue your selfish interests, you leave us no choice. You have until morning to vacate this house. Your college fund will be reallocated to more deserving purposes. Do not contact us until you've come to your senses." More deserving purposes meant Kelly's third attempt at law school, she explained, which he dropped out of anyway to start his failed tech startup. "The one your inheritance mysteriously funded." Bella raised an eyebrow. "Speaking of which." Chelsea dug deeper into the box. "Where is it?" "I know, I kept it." Chelsea pulled out another envelope. This one looked official. Bella leaned in as she spread the contents across the floor. "Holy," she whispered. There it was in black and white, a letter from her godmother's estate lawyer dated 10 years ago. The inheritance her godmother had left her, nearly $200,000 for her education and future, and beside it bank documents showed the money was transferred to an account in her father's name as her legal guardian just 2 months before she turned 18. "They kept this from you?" Bella's voice shook with anger. "They transferred it all to Kelly, called it a family decision. I only found out because the lawyer's assistant felt guilty and slipped me copies." She said, "That's straight up theft." "Yeah." She stood up, brushing dust off her jeans. "And now they want to steal my home for their perfect golden child's wedding because that's what they do. Take and take and take." Her phone buzzed. A text from Felicia: "Just toured some florists. Can't wait to transform your shabby little garden into something actually elegant." Bella read it over her shoulder and swore, "Please tell me we're destroying them." "Oh, we are." Chelsea gathered the documents carefully. "But first we're going to see your uncle, because everything I'm about to do needs to be completely, beautifully legal." "The judge, you're serious about involving him?" She picked up a photo of her teenage self, young, proud, unbroken. "They think they can just walk in and take over my life again, like I'm still that scared kid who'd do anything to please them. But you're not," Bella said with a grin. "No." Chelsea tucked the evidence into her bag. "I'm the woman who built an empire from their ashes, and I'm about to remind them exactly who they're dealing with." They headed downstairs. Bella was already typing on her phone. "Uncle Felix says he can meet us for lunch, says he's intrigued." "Perfect." Chelsea locked the attic door, leaving the ghosts of her past where they belonged. "Tell him to bring any paperwork we might need for converting residential property into an event venue. Oh, and asked if he knows anyone in the Pride community who might want to throw a really big party on September 15th. Bella's eyes widened. Then she burst out laughing. "You're evil." "I love it." "Not evil," Chelsea corrected, feeling lighter than she had in days. "Just finally done playing nice." The sun streamed through her windows, catching the dust they'd stirred up. It looked almost like glitter, like magic, like karma getting ready to dance. "So let me get this straight," Judge Felix said, peering at the documents spread across his desk. "Your family stole your inheritance, kicked you out, and now they're trying to take your property for a wedding you clearly refused to host." "That's the short version," she said, watching him flip through the paperwork. "The long version involves years of emotional abuse and about 50 more examples of my brother getting everything while I got nothing." Bella, perched on the office window sill, held up her phone. "And look at this, they're already advertising the venue online. Chelsea's address and everything." Felix clicked through Kelly and Felicia's wedding website. Sure enough, there was her house, her gardens, even her custom-built fountain featured in their photo gallery. "Our dream venue." The caption read, "Where family traditions begin." The audacity is almost impressive. Felix said, but legally they don't have a leg to stand on. This is clear trespassing. If they move forward, I want more than just keeping them out. Chelsea said, I want consequences, real ones. The inheritance theft has a statute of limitations. She added, I checked, but that's not what I'm after. I want to turn their own weapon against them. Public shame. Felix leaned back, a slight smile playing at his lips. Go on. I want to legally rent out my property as an event venue specifically to the Rainbow Coalition's annual Pride Festival on September 15. Bella snorted. Dad's going to have an aneurysm. He nearly disowned cousin Leo just for attending Pride last year. It gets better. Chelsea pulled up her laptop. Look what I found when I googled Kelly's new company. The screen showed a business news article. Rising tech star secures conservative family values investment group funding. He's been marketing himself as this traditional values warrior, she explained, getting backing from all these ultra-conservative investors, and the wedding's supposed to be his big society debut. Bella cackled. Instead of a fancy country club ceremony, he's going to walk into a full-blown Pride festival. Felix studied her carefully. You understand this will burn every bridge. Your family will never forgive this. There's nothing left to burn, she said quietly. They made sure of that a long time ago. He nodded, reaching for his phone. I know someone who handles event permits, and the Rainbow Coalition's director owes me a favor. Give me an hour. While Felix made calls, she checked her email. 3 new messages from her mother, each one more demanding than the last. The final message included a detailed list of minor renovations they expected her to complete before the wedding. They really think they own your place, Bella said, reading over her shoulder. They think they own me, she corrected. That's why this has to be perfect. That's why. Her phone buzzed. An unknown number. The text made her blood freeze. Hey stranger, heard about Kelly's wedding? Your mom suggested I reach out. Would love to catch up. Johnson. Bella asked, who's Johnson? My ex. The one they tried to marry me off to right before everything fell apart. She showed Bella his Instagram profile. Corporate lawyer, family approved, total snake. Damn, they're really pulling out all the stops. They think he's their secret weapon. The one that got away will make me nostalgic and compliant. Chelsea smiled grimly. They have no idea. They just handed me another piece of ammunition. Felix hung up his phone. Good news, the coalition is thrilled. They'll have permits filed by tomorrow. Now about that inheritance, I thought you said the statute of limitations for criminal charges. Yes, but civil suits. His eyes twinkled. Have different rules, especially when there's documented fraud involved. She sat straighter. I'm listening. File the suit the day before the wedding. When they show up with their guests and find a Pride festival instead of their venue, they'll cause a scene guaranteed, and when that scene goes viral, the conservative investors will run screaming. Bella finished. Brilliant. Chelsea's phone buzzed again. It was Kelly this time. Hey sis, mom says you're being difficult. Don't worry, we've got it handled. Johnson is coming to talk sense into you just like old times. She showed the message to Felix. Can we add harassment to that civil suit? Oh yes, he said, pulling out fresh paperwork. We can add quite a lot. Chelsea spent the next hour signing documents, each signature feeling like another nail in her family's coffin of consequences. By the time they finished, the Pride Festival was officially booked. Permits were in process and a civil suit was ready to drop like a bomb. Last chance to back out, Felix warned. She thought of all those years of pain of watching Kelly get everything while she got nothing, of her mother's manipulation and her father's dismissal. No, she said firmly, it's their turn to lose something. Bella raised an imaginary glass to Karma. Chelsea smiled, feeling dangerous and alive to Karma. The email from her mother arrived with a dozen attachments. Just some precious memories to remind you of family. The subject line read. She opened the first photo and felt her jaw clench. It was her at 6, standing in front of their old house, Dad's hand gripping her shoulder too tight, Mom's plastic smile. Kelly front and center with a trophy for participation in T-ball. Look how happy we were, Mom wrote, before you became so difficult. Bella appeared behind her with 2 glasses of wine. More manipulation. Old photos. They're trying to guilt you with childhood memories. Chelsea scrolled through them. Oh, this is rich. They included pictures of Johnson. There he was at her high school graduation while she stood in her valedictorian robe. He was already cozying up to her mother. She remembered that day clearly. He'd spent more time discussing law firms with her Farther than celebrating with her phone lit up. Speaking of the devil, she said, Chelsea. Johnson's smooth voice filled her kitchen. You're looking gorgeous on LinkedIn these days. What do you want, Johnson? Can a guy check in on an old flame your mom mentioned? Of course she did. She put him on speaker so Bella could hear. Let me guess, she asked you to convince me about the wedding. He laughed. That practice lawyer laugh, always so direct. How about dinner? For old time's sake, I'm in town next week and still married to your job. Or did that paralegal finally wise up and leave silence? Then you've gotten bitter, Chelsea. No, I've gotten successful without anyone's help. But hey, tell my mom you tried. Bill her for your time. She loves throwing money at people who do her dirty work. She hung up as Bella slow clapped. Brutal. I love it. Her laptop pinged a new email from Felicia, CC'd to half the country club wedding update. Chelsea's being so generous with her lovely home. Here's our final vendor list. She scanned the attached spreadsheet. Blood boiling. They'd booked everything: caterers, florists, valet parking, all under her name and address. They're really doing this, Bella whispered. They actually think they can just, oh, but wait. It gets better. She opened the next email. They're billing me for it. There it was, a $45,000 catering invoice in her name. Mom's email followed quickly. Oops, didn't mean to put your card down, sweetie, but since it's already processed, they're trying to trap you financially. Bella realized make you invest so much you can't back out. Classic move. Dad did the same thing when he forced me into pre-law courses. Chelsea forwarded everything to Felix, but they forgot something important. What's that? She pulled up her business banking app. I'm not that broke teenager anymore. I can afford to lose their deposit money. Can they afford to lose face? Her phone buzzed again. Kelly had posted on Instagram a photo of her garden with the caption, future wedding venue. Can't wait to class up this place. Sorry sis, but your artsy vision needs a proper society upgrade. The comments were already flowing in from his conservative business circle. Traditional values when showing the black sheep how it's done. Family over foolishness. Bella read them and swore they're really painting you as the fallen woman reformed through their intervention. Let them. She opened her laptop and pulled up the Pride Festival's social media, because in 6 weeks that narrative is going to explode in their faces. The festival organizers had already started their promotional materials. Her property would host 3 stages, food trucks, drag shows, and a headline performance by a famous queer artist. The permits were ironclad. The contract signed. Her phone lit up with a text from Felix. Civil suit paperwork filed and sealed. They won't see it coming until the day before. Also, Johnson's firm might want to know he's harassing potential legal opponents. She smiled and forwarded Johnson's call recording to his managing partners. Email. You're really going scorched earth, Bella observed. They started the fire. She closed her laptop. I'm just making sure they burn with it. Another email from Mom. Darling, Felicia's mother reserved the country club as backup, but we know you'll do the right thing. You wouldn't want people thinking you're still that angry little girl who ruins family occasions. She thought of the pride flags that would soon fill her garden, of the music that would drown out their judgment of Kelly's face when his conservative investors saw viral videos of him trying to crash a queer festival. Actually, Mom, she whispered to the screen, that angry little girl grew up and she's about to ruin so much more than just an occasion. Bella raised her wine glass to the angry little girl. Chelsea clinked her glass against hers. To the woman she became. The countdown to September 15th had begun, and with every manipulative message, every entitled demand, they were only making her revenge sweeter. September 15th dawned bright and clear by 7 a.m. Her property was already transforming. Rainbow flags lined the driveway. Food trucks rumbled into position and sound engineers tested the stages. She sat on her porch sipping coffee, watching security teams establish checkpoints. They're here, Bella called from her lookout position 2 blocks away. Whole convoy of cars right on schedule. She smoothed her dress and checked her phone. The live stream was already running, catching everything. The first vehicle, a sleek Mercedes, screeched to a halt at Chelsea's gate. Her mother burst out, her designer heels sinking into the gravel. Chelsea, she shrieked, her face twisting in disbelief at the pride flags waving around. What is the meaning of this? Chelsea smiled calmly. Welcome to the Rainbow Coalition's annual Pride Festival, she said. Do you have tickets? More cars arrived quickly. Her father Kelly and Felicia stepped out, followed by what looked like half the country club behind them. Rental vans filled with flowers and catering. Supplies lined the street. Tickets. Kelly stormed forward. This is my wedding. No, she replied, nodding to security. This is a legally permitted private event and you're all trespassing. Felicia, glowing in her white dress, pushed past security. You can't do this, we have contracts. Actually, Chelsea said, holding up her phone, you have fraudulent documents with my forged signature. I never agreed to host your wedding, but I did sign a legitimate contract with the Coalition 6 weeks ago. The catering manager came up looking confused. Mrs. Hall, where should we set up? That would be me, she said with a smile, and you should probably contact whoever actually hired you, because it wasn't me, no matter what that invoice says. Her mother's face went from red to purple. You ungrateful little. Music suddenly boomed from all 3 stages. The first wave of festival goers began arriving, covered in glitter and rainbow outfits. Many stopped to record the unfolding drama on their phones. You're ruining everything, Kelly shouted. My investors are coming. Oh, I know, she said, pointing to a news van pulling up. I invited them along with the press. Smile for the camera's brother. Dear, I hear your conservative backers love viral videos. Felicia lunged forward, trying to tear down a pride flag. In the process, she shoved a drag queen who fell dramatically to the ground. Assault. Bella called out helpfully, we all saw that. Good thing we have police on site. 2 officers came over as Felicia screamed about her ruined wedding. Her mother tried to block them with her best polite smile. Officers, there's been a mistake. This is a family matter. This is a permitted event. One officer corrected while checking paperwork, and you're all trespassing. Please return to your vehicles. I'll destroy you for this. Her father growled, pointing a finger at her. You think you're clever. You think I think. Chelsea cut in, loudly, aware that phones were recording. You should check your email, especially the one from my lawyers about the stolen inheritance. His face went pale behind him. Kelly's phone lit up repeatedly. Probably messages from investors reacting to the growing social media storm. Last chance, she announced. Leave voluntarily or be escorted out on camera. Your choice. Felicia chose option 3. She tried to rush the gate again. Police stopped her as she screamed about her perfect day being ruined. Her mother burst into dramatic tears. Her father looked ready to explode. My father is a senator, Felicia screamed as officers led her away. You'll regret this. Speaking of regrets, Chelsea said, pulling out her phone, should we talk about the fraudulent catering charges, the forged contracts, the documented harassment? More festival guests arrived, forming an impromptu audience. Someone started chanting, "Bye bye bigots." Kelly's face crumpled as he checked his phone again. The Thompson group is pulling out, he whispered. All my funding, karma's a bitch. Bella sang from beside Chelsea, and so is Chelsea. Her mother made one last effort, her voice sugary and fake. Chelsea, sweetie, think about what you're doing to this family. I am, she said, locking eyes with her. I'm giving you exactly what you deserve. The police began escorting them out while the festival went into full swing. Chelsea watched her family retreat, her mother crying, her father raging, Kelly frantically calling investors, Felicia having a full meltdown in her wedding dress. Bella bumped her shoulder. How does it feel? Chelsea watched the last of their cars vanish, replaced by a stream of happy festival goers. Music echoed through the garden. Joy and celebration replaced the toxic mess her family tried to bring. It feels, she said, accepting a rainbow flag from a passing dancer. Absolutely perfect. But the day wasn't over, not even close, because in exactly 1 hour their lawyers would receive notice of her civil suit. Then the real fireworks would begin. She sat back on her porch swing, surrounded by music and laughter, and waited for the next wave of chaos. The video hit 2 million views by midnight. Its title read, "Wedding Party Crashes, Pride Festival Chaos Ensues." The comments section became a battleground of support and outrage. Did you see the bride try to assault that drag queen? Bella asked, while scrolling through her phone. That clip alone has gone viral. Chelsea's own phone hadn't stopped buzzing since. The event ended, but what surprised her most was a message from Johnson's law firm. "We apologize for our associates' involvement in this harassment. Appropriate action has been taken. He got fired," Bella said, looking over the message. "Suspended probably," Chelsea replied. "Turns out trying to intimidate someone who's filing a civil suit isn't great for your legal career." The Pride Festival had been a huge success. It raised record donations for LGBTQ+ youth programs, but the real explosion happened when Felix's office served the civil suit papers. Her laptop pinged with an incoming video call. Her father's face appeared red and full of anger. "You little snake," he yelled. $2 million. "You're suing us for $2 million plus interest." "Correct," she replied calmly. "The documents are clear about the inheritance theft. Would you like me to share my screen and go through it together?" Her mother shoved into the frame. "We did what was best for this family. Kelly needed my money just like he needed my house," Chelsea said. "Funny how that works. The investors are pulling out." Kelly's voice cracked from somewhere off-screen. "All of them. Do you know what you've done? Exposed you." She answered, "Yes, that was exactly the point." A new email popped up from the church board where her dad served as deacon. The subject line read, "Emergency meeting regarding recent events." Oh look, she had forwarded it to them. The church board got her evidence package. They seemed particularly interested in the financial fraud documents. Her dad's face went from red to white. "You wouldn't dare." "I already did check your inbox," she said. "I sent copies to every board member along with video highlights from today's festival. You know, the one where you tried to physically intimidate me on camera." Her mom burst into tears. "After everything we've sacrificed, save it for court," Bella called from behind her. "I'm sure the judge will love your performance." Felicia appeared, mascara streaked down her face. "My mother's friends are all sharing that horrible video. Our reputation is ruined." "Welcome to consequences," Chelsea said. "How does it feel to not get your way for once?" Her phone lit up with a text from Felix. "Local news wants to interview you. Your story is gaining traction also. Opposing counsel already reached out about settlement talks." She held up her phone to the screen. "See that your lawyers know you can't win this. The evidence is ironclad, so here's what's going to happen. You can't dictate terms to us." Her dad thundered. "Where your parents know." She corrected. "Your defendants in a civil suit, and you're going to settle. You're going to publicly apologize, and you're going to repay every penny you stole with interest." "Or what?" Kelly challenged. "Or I take this to trial. Every document, every email, every manipulative text becomes public record. How do you think your remaining investors will feel about that?" Her mom's tears dried instantly. "You wouldn't try me." "Oh, and Dad, the church board meets tomorrow at 9 o'clock. I've been invited to present my evidence in person. Shall I tell them you said hello?" The screen exploded with overlapping voices until Bella reached over and hit mute. "I think they get the point," she grinned. Chelsea's phone buzzed again. A news notification. "Wedding drama goes viral. Local businesswoman exposes family's attempted property takeover." Below it, a message from an unfamiliar number. "Hi, I'm a producer with Netflix. Would you be interested in discussing your story?" Holy Bella breathed. "You're going to be famous." She unmuted the video call. They were still arguing amongst themselves. 24 hours, she announced. "That's how long you have to agree to my terms. After that I do the news interview, and trust me, I'll tell them everything." "You're bluffing," Kelly said weakly. She shared her screen, showing them the Netflix message. "Am I?" Her dad's face hardened. "You'll regret this. Family is everything." "No," she said softly. "Self-respect is everything. You taught me that actually by showing me exactly what happens when you don't have any." She ended the call as another news alert popped up. Conservative investment group distances itself from viral wedding scandal. Bella poured them both fresh wine. "Think they'll settle?" she asked. "They have to," Chelsea said. "Dad can't lose his church position. Mom can't lose her social status. Kelly can't lose his remaining investors." She smiled. "They're trapped by the very things they always used to trap me. Karma really is a beautiful thing." She raised her glass to karma and to consequences. Outside, the last of the pride flags fluttered in the evening breeze. Her phone kept buzzing with messages and alerts, but for the first time in years she felt perfectly, wonderfully at peace. The truth was finally out, and it was glorious. The mediation room felt too small for all The tension it contained. Her parents sat across the table, their expensive lawyer between them. Kelly slumped in a corner. Phone dark and silent. No investors left to call. Let's review the terms, Felix said, spreading documents across the table. Full repayment of the inheritance with interest, public apology binding. Agreement to cease all contact unless initiated by my client. Her mom's lawyer leaned forward. My clients are prepared to repay the inheritance, but the public apology is non-negotiable, she cut in. Just like the restraining order I'll file if they refuse. Chelsea, her dad started, but Felix held up a hand. Mr. Hall, need I remind you that speaking directly to my client violates our ground rules? The door opened and a court clerk entered with more paperwork. The judge is ready to review your settlement unless anyone has changed their mind about going to trial. Her mom's perfect makeup couldn't hide her flinch. Trial meant discovery. Discovery meant every ugly detail becoming public record. We'll settle. Their lawyer sighed. She watched them sign paper after paper with each signature. Years of control slipped away when they reached the public apology draft. Her dad's hand shook. This will ruin us at church, he whispered. Should have thought of that before stealing from your daughter, Bella muttered from her spot by the window. Kelly finally spoke up. What about Felicia? What about her? She asked. She left, said she can't marry into a family with this kind of scandal. Sounds like a personal problem. Her mom sniffed dramatically. Are you happy now destroying your brother's happiness? Felix cleared his throat. Mrs. Hall, the next violation of our speaking rules will end this mediation. Would you prefer to face a jury? She fell silent, but her eyes burned with familiar venom. Chelsea had seen that look so many times growing up, right before she'd tear into her about being difficult, ungrateful, wrong, but she wasn't that little girl anymore. The clerk returned with the judge, who reviewed their settlement quickly. Everything appears in order, she said. The public apology will be posted by 5 p.m. today. The financial restitution must be completed within 30 days and the no-contact order is effective immediately. Your Honor, her dad tried one last time. She's our daughter. And you stole hundreds of thousands of dollars from her. The judge cut in. Count yourself lucky this was settled civilly. Outside the courthouse, reporters waited with cameras. Her parents tried to dodge them, but their lawyer held them back. The apology needs to be public, he reminded them. Better to do it now than have them catch you running away. Chelsea watched from the steps as they faced the cameras. Her father's carefully crafted statement felt like victory. We acknowledge our wrongful actions against our daughter Chelsea. We misappropriated her inheritance and attempted to seize control of her property. Our behavior was unconscionable. We accept full responsibility and will make complete restitution. The questions exploded. Why did you steal from your own daughter? Was this a pattern of behavior? How do you respond to the viral wedding video? Her mother cracked. First, we did everything for this family. We only wanted to control me, Chelsea finished, stepping forward. The cameras swung her way. But that's over now and I have something to announce. Bella squeezed her arm encouragingly. The stolen inheritance money, she continued, every penny will be donated to establish a scholarship fund for artists and creators whose families tried to silence their dreams. The reporters loved that. More questions flew. What inspired this decision? Will you press criminal charges? How does it feel to stand up to family abuse through the chaos? She caught Kelly's eye for a moment. Her little brother looked lost. No fiancé, no investors, no golden child pedestal left to stand on. I hope you learned from this, she told him quietly. It's never too late to build your own life. He nodded slightly before their parents dragged him away as they disappeared into their car. Johnson, of all people, appeared at the courthouse entrance. He looked rough. Suspension had clearly taken its toll. Chelsea, he called out, I need to say something. Make it quick. I'm sorry for everything, for helping them pressure you back then, for trying to manipulate you. Now you deserved better. She studied him, the first person from her past to offer a genuine apology. Thank you, she said simply. Now please leave. He did. Bella linked her arm through hers as they headed to her car. How does freedom feel? She thought about the scholarship fund, about the messages she'd received from other people standing up to family abuse, about her quiet house, her thriving business, her life built from scratch. It feels like I finally have my own happy ending. Oh honey, she grinned, this Isn't an ending, this is a whole new beginning. She was right, the story wasn't over, but for the first time she was the one holding the pen. The autumn breeze carried dead leaves across her parents' overgrown lawn. Their house, once the symbol of their perfect family facade, stood empty, foreclosure signs stark against peeling paint. You sure about this? Bella asked from the car. She placed the bouquet of black lilies at the gate. Closure matters. Her phone buzzed with another interview request. The documentary crew wanted final shots for their series. Family Fraud and Freedom had become Netflix's latest viral hit. More importantly, it had sparked a movement of others sharing their stories of standing up to toxic families. Did you see Kelly's new apartment? Bella scrolled through social media. Studio above a laundromat, quite a change from his penthouse. Mom and Dad can't bail him out anymore, not since the church board stripped Dad of his position, and their social circle crumbled. A car slowed as it passed, probably another rubbernecker. Hoping to spot the family from the viral video, Mom and Dad had fled to a distant cousin's guest house, their carefully constructed reputation in shambles. Ready to go? Bella asked. The scholarship committee meets in an hour. She took a final look at her childhood prison. Yeah, let's do something that actually matters. At the community center, dozens of young artists waited nervously with their portfolios. The Chelsea Hall Arts Foundation's first round of scholarships would help them pursue their dreams despite family pressure to conform. My parents threatened to cut me off if I chose dance over medical school, one girl told her, clutching her application. Your story gave me courage to choose myself. Good. She squeezed her shoulder. Never let anyone dim your light. Her phone lit up with a text from Felix. Final restitution payment cleared. Trust fund officially closed. You're completely free of them. Bella read it and grinned. How's it feel to be a millionaire? Like responsibility, she replied, watching more applicants arrive like turning poison into medicine. The scholarship review began. Each student shared their story of art suppressed, of dreams denied, of families who saw difference as defiance. With each one she saw echoes of her younger self. My dad says art isn't a real career, a teenage boy explained, showing his photographs, but it's who I am. Then be who you are, she told him loudly and proudly. Between interviews she checked her email. Felicia had apparently found a new wealthy family to attach herself to. Johnson's law firm had made him a junior partner again, but he stayed far from family law and Kelly. Bella showed her phone. He posted this an hour ago. It was a simple message: starting therapy, some family patterns need to break. Sorry sis. Think he means it? Bella asked. Maybe, but his healing isn't my responsibility anymore. The committee selected 12 scholarship recipients as she watched them celebrate, hugging and crying. Her phone buzzed one final time. A message from an unknown number. Chelsea, it's Mom. I know I'm not supposed to contact you, but I saw the scholarship program. You've helped so many people. Despite everything I did wrong, you became someone amazing. I'm sorry I couldn't see it sooner. Bella read it over her shoulder. You going to respond? She thought about it, really thought about it, then deleted the message. Some chapters need to stay closed, she said. Besides, I have a family now. It's just not the one I was born into. Bella hugged her tight. Damn right you do. Outside, the scholarship recipients posed for photos. Their joy radiated brighter than any country club wedding could have. This was real legacy, turning years of pain into possibility for others. The documentary team wants to film the scholarship ceremony next week, Bella mentioned. You ready for more spotlight? She watched the young artists comparing works, sharing dreams, building connections. Yeah, because it wasn't about her anymore, it was about them, about breaking cycles, and about karma. Bella added with a wink. And about karma, she agreed. Her phone lit up with another message, this time from the girl who had chosen dance over medical school. The girl attached a video of her first performance. Thank you for showing me that choosing yourself isn't selfish. The message read, it's survival. She smiled, remembering that scared teenager she used to be, the one who thought standing up meant standing alone. No, she typed back, thank you for showing me that every act of courage creates ripples. Keep dancing. Bella gathered the committee for lunch. As they walked out, she caught her reflection in the window. Strong, steady, free. No more ghosts, no more chains, just possibilities stretching endless as the autumn sky coming. Bella called. Yeah, she said, turning away from the past for the Final time she was ready, and she was ready for whatever came next, because that was the thing about writing her own story.